Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tasha M. Dyer, and I am your host for this evening's call. So, as you log in, let me officially welcome you to Be Your Own Bank. This is BYOB, the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. And so, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from, along with those affirmations. Yes, good evening, good evening. This is BYOB Basics. So, who do we have on the line this evening? I see Jacksonville, Minnesota. Good evening, good evening. Okay, average breaker and average breaker, which means you're like, I am not leaving that out. I need you guys to know. Good evening, Cleveland. Good evening, Houston, Texas. Good evening, Minnesota. Cleveland, good evening, good evening. Virginia, Orlando. Good evening, Cleveland. Good. Okay, Cleveland, Wisconsin. Now, guys, I know it is more of you all on this line. Yes, it is. So go ahead and drop it in the chat where you're calling in from and those affirmations. Remember, these affirmations are for you. They are not for me. Now, as we also get started here, I am an educated BYOB master trader, anointed for wealth. See, we want to start with the right mindset. It's a training call, but you got to absorb the information, right? We have to absorb. So we can walk out empowered, because we know that empower people, right? All right, I see you, Atlanta. So once again, let's go ahead. I am an educated BYOB master trader, anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades in and profit. I am 777. And I see you guys adding to it, where I see patience, profit. I see you all walking in prosperity, walking in wealth. Big bank frequency, big bank, discipline, billionaire, right? BYOB average breakers all through here. So yeah, okay, BYOB influencer. Okay. All right, guys. Hello, South Carolina. All right, I see you. And so what I want to do right now is, if this is your first time joining us this evening, let me get a 111 in the chat. And if you are still learning how to cash out, let me get a 222. So, all right, there we go. Welcome and welcome back. Welcome and welcome back. I love it. But ladies and gentlemen, as we are reaching individuals worldwide, I see you on YouTube. Welcome back. As we are reaching individuals worldwide, having global impact. Yes, that's what we're doing with the Be Your Own Bank movement. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to turn this call over to a woman I definitely have a tremendous amount of respect for. This phenomenal educator is definitely making strides, having impact within the movement, definitely setting the tone. She's going to set the tone here for you tonight, where you're going to really understand exactly what Be Your Own Bank is all about. You're going to understand exactly how you can learn how to compound in, and we're going to stop compounding out. And why is she the one to do it? Well, because success leaves clues. We're talking about a woman that's been featured in Success from Home magazine 10 times, helped people already around the world, has already had worldwide impact, and she is here to help you understand tonight how you could transition, how you could be your own bank. So without further ado, I definitely want to turn this call over to none other than the one, the only Pip Master, Miss Tanya Anderson. Miss Anderson, are you on the line?
I am here, Miss Dyer. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. And ladies and gentlemen, I am humbled to be able to be introduced by such a phenomenal woman who lives phenomenally. Miss Tasha M. Dyer has a track record of success that is unbelievable, very rare. A retired major from the U.S. Army. She has a background as a financial advisor, real estate broker as well. Just a phenomenal mom, phenomenal grandmother, and created a simple strategy that allows for us to cash out every single day, being our own bank, making big bank moves. So she's a woman of God. She has a huge heart. She loves to have a good time. She's well documented. And ladies and gentlemen, she definitely knows what she's doing. So if you have an opportunity to work with her, do not take that for granted. I am excited to be here tonight because we have an opportunity of a lifetime. We've seen history. We've seen movements. We've seen movements like the civil rights movement. Some people were a part of it that are on this line tonight. The women's rights movement, but now guess what? We are in dire need of a financial movement. That is the power behind the timing of Be Your Own Bank. See, it's not just about learning a skill. It's about a philosophy. It's about a crusade. You are a part of a modern day movement that history books will write about it. So make sure that you take pride in the fact that we are creating history, helping people become their own bank. Now, where did this all begin? It all began with a visionary, Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, who thought of this concept, Be Your Own Bank, because of his 25 years of investment banking, because he's a business success coach and mentor. He thinks outside of the box. He is always strategizing, always thinking about taking himself and everyone around him to the next level. Ladies and gentlemen, he has a background in business development. He has businesses throughout the country, currently working on a phenomenal business deal right now as we speak. I mean, he's always adding to the table. This is his ministry. And he is also a co-author of 2 books, a third that is about to drop, along with Miss Tasha M. Dyer, who I just shared with you. She is also an accomplished writer as well, with another book about to drop that she's co-authored with Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. And then we have none other than Dr. Craig Bythewood, the finance doctor. This individual has his PhD in finance and economics. He has been a CFO. He has consulted CFOs and CEOs. He's a business development coach. Ladies and gentlemen, he is a mentor of millionaires. He's a college professor, a loving and devoted father, a girls basketball coach. He definitely loves to have a good time, but he loves to simplify economics so that the average person can take control of their financial narrative. And he did his dissertation in bank mergers and acquisitions. So we are definitely in good hands with our BYOB Dream Team. That's also our mastermind team. So this is the foundation. This is the history. This is where it all began with the Be Your Own Bank movement. But guess what? As a successful leader, you need successors. The mark of a great leadership is the fruit. So we have the next generation of educators, the Be Your Own Bank second generation, with none other than the phenomenal Mr. Antoine Sims, who's our industry precisionist with a strong background, regional manager, regional vice president in the restaurant industry. He was responsible for opening hundreds of restaurants, managing hundreds of managers and directing them to successful franchises, and was responsible for hundreds of millions of dollars of sales because of his leadership. And then we have none other than Joseph Washington, Pastor Joseph Washington. He's our BYOB average breaker, personal development savant. Ladies and gentlemen, he's an accomplished author. He has an incredible business background and mind, and he has sat at the table and been in the presence and led meetings with the President of the United States. He's traveled all over the globe because of that. He is the average breaker. And then we have none other than Tritana Perry, our crypto igniter, crypto educator, a background of 31 years in insurance. She's a missionary. She has a huge heart, loves to have a good time, knows all the facts about crypto. And then we have none other than our trading diva, HFX sniper, Miss Bonita Brantley. If you want to simplify options, if you want to be able to take a trade in 3 minutes or less and compound your account, this is the go-to woman, a true professional, totally committed, leading leaders. And then yours truly, I am the pit master, your BYOB basics educator, taking you from 0 to 100 very simply so that you can have the confidence to push the button and be your own bank. So let's talk about Be Your Own Bank. It is the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind. So I implore you to be the person that posts this daily. I want you to have conversations with people every day, asking them, have you heard of the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind? How would you like to be a part of the largest economic empowerment movement in the history of mankind? These are the conversations that we need to have. We need to make sure that we are investing our time and not just spending time having conversations that lead to nowhere. And then BYOB vision, we will definitely impact and empower 2 million families by March 28th, 2022. How? We are enrolling movers and shakers, ladies and gentlemen, who are learning this skill. They're profiting. They have big vision. We just enrolled none other than the greatest producer of all time, Mr. Teddy Riley, and his sister. They have major impact in the entertainment arena, major impact in all sorts of circles. They have great business minds. So you need to share that story, share the testimony that we are attracting the best of the best in every area, every walk of life. So how do we do it? Well, we affirm what we want. My motto is keep it super simple. You'll see me post, let's kiss. Let's keep life super simple. All we have to do is love each other, be positive, be appreciative, and be productive. That's the key to success in life. And it all starts with what we say, our energy. Have you ever been around somebody and they walk into a room and you think, oh my God, where'd all the energy go? You don't want to be that person. You want to bring life and positivity wherever you go. So it starts with our affirmations. Number one, I am a BYOB master trader. You'll see our leaders. You'll see those serious about the movement dropping their affirmations in the chat, because that's who they are. They're already billionaires because they've said it. It starts with the word, just like the world was created with the word. So I am a BYOB master trader. I am the signal. All my trades end in profit. I'm an educated trader. Therefore, I am a profitable trader. I am 777. For those of you who are new, that means that you are constantly profiting, taking profit from the market. I am anointed for wealth, and I am a billionaire. See, when you have a positive mind, you give off positive vibes. And when you give off positive vibes, you live a positive life. So let's all make sure that we hold each other accountable for all the good vibrations that we have within. Never say anything you don't want to happen. Never say anything you don't want to attract. Our words are attractive and they're creative. So now that we talked about how we can set our tone when we start our day, when we start our trading, when we enter these Zoom platforms, what we also want to make sure that we want to affirm that an educated trader is also a profitable trader. See, we're not here guessing. We're not speculating. We have an educational platform and a proven strategy with a 92% accuracy rate that we are teaching. And guess what? That 8% has to do with our emotions. So as human beings, if we can get that emotional piece under wraps, guess what? We know we can have 100% profit using this skill and educating ourselves with the financial news and what's happening around us before we enter our trades. So we need to learn these important terms. Make sure you have a notepad out, take notes, because you want to be an educated trader. So number one, we use indicators. Now, what are indicators? An indicator is simply a tool used to predict future prices. So an indicator is a tool that we use to predict future prices. Now, the three indicators that we use are the stochastic, we use the Hikinashi candles, and the parabolic stop and reverse. So the stochastic is our leading indicator. We look at this first. It takes the lead, right? So when we open our charts, that's the first thing we direct our eyes to. That measures the momentum of price, and it gives clues about trend shifts. The stochastic is used to indicate when an asset moves into an overbought and an oversold position. As a beginner trader, you want to make sure that you understand how to identify an overbought or an oversold position. That is your first step to identifying a strong entry for a trade. The Hikinashi candle, these are our lagging indicators. These are trend candles that help identify whether the market is pushing an asset's value up, down, or whether it's moving sideways. It's easy to identify by looking at the stochastic and the Hikinashi candles. And then the parabolic stop and reverse. This is a lagging indicator. It is a dot or a small cross that outlines candles used to determine stop loss, the entry points, or exit points for a trade. So we're going to cover all of these, and you'll see these indicators on our chart when we pull up the vibrata. Now, what I love is that our trade whisperer, Tasha M. Dyer, created a simple 1, 2, 3 strategy, 3 steps to success, 3 steps to compounding your way to wealth, 3 steps to being your own bank by using the indicators that I just went over. So the first step, number 1, direct your eyesight to review the stochastic. Then you review the Hikanashi candles. Then you review the PSAR. So when we're looking for a sell or a buy, that's simply letting us know what direction price is going into. So I want you to think of a sell as a synonym for the price of an asset decreasing. So if a price is decreasing, we call that a sell. Okay, if price is increasing, we call that identifying a buy. Okay, so suspend what you typically think about when you think about selling something or buying something. When we're talking about this skill set, this strategy, when we say sell, it's simply letting us know the direction that price is heading in. It's decreasing. So when you're looking for a sell, you look for the stochastic to travel around the 80 marker, and we'll show you what that looks like in the chart. So what happens is the blue line crosses over the red line in a downward position. And then that line, when the blue and the red line are above the 80 and crossover and head down, then we know that that's a stronger sell. Next, we look for the Hikanashi candle. The red candle with the flat top indicates a strong sell. Just like the arrow you see to the left of 1, 2, 3, that is what the candle will look like when we're identifying a strong sell, when price is dropping, when it's decreasing. And then number 3 is the PSAR. The PSAR is a dot that will end up right above the red candle with the flat top. It will move from being below green candles and it'll flip. That's what we call it. The PSAR will flip and it'll end up above a red candle with a flat top. That gives extra confirmation of a push downward. So just think of that little dot or the PSAR pushing the candle down, which gives it added momentum for price to be dropping. And then when we identify a buy, we look for the stochastic to travel around the 20 marker. So on the chart, you'll see that it's on the bottom of the purple rectangle that we identify as an oscillator where the stochastic travels through. So we look for that to travel around the 20 marker, and the blue line is going to cross over the red in an upward momentum or upward position. And that means when these two lines are below the 20 and they're pushing up, or price is increasing and heading up from the 20 marker, that is a strong buy. That means price is increasing with momentum. And then step number 2, we're looking for candles that have a flat bottom. So the green candles indicate that price is increasing. It has a flat bottom. And when the PSAR flips and ends up below the green candle with the flat bottom, that is extra confirmation that price is increasing. So ladies and gentlemen, just keep in mind that we're not talking about the action of buying or selling right now. We're talking about identifying the movement of price. What I love about this is it doesn't matter if price is going down or if price is going up. We can take profit from our analysis of the market when we analyze our assets. So we're going to go to the vibrata. We're going to stop this share with the slides. Go to the vibrata so that you can see the chart that we use to analyze these assets. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the value behind the vibrata is that this is a tool that is just like what big banks use when they're behind the scenes compounding our money that's sitting in the bank. See, when our money is sitting in the bank, guess what? Banks are making money from moves like I just described. And so what you want to do is make sure you understand that being a part of this movement allows for us to make big bank moves as well. So we're going to start with a clean chart so that we understand everything that I just described in terms of those indicators. So I want you all to understand as well that another valuable thing about the vibrato, or a valuable story that you can share with people, is that our very own visionary, Mr. Gerald D. Rogers, he is the spokesperson for the vibrata. See, the person who developed the web analyzer, he actually used Mr. Rogers as a spokesperson because of his expertise in being your own bank, being behind the scenes, investment banking, knowing what this is all about. So you can brag about our leadership team because we have powerhouses in place leading us to success through this movement. So this is the vibrata. And ladies and gentlemen, when you see this, just realize if you haven't seen a chart like this before, relax your shoulders and say, you know what, it's just a matter of time before I understand everything that's going on this chart. So we're going to look at it and keep it very simple. And I want you all to understand that this is a forum where we want all of your questions to be answered. So if you have a question anytime throughout this explanation when I have the charts up, then what you want to do is drop your question in the chat and I will address your question. Now, if your question is a basic question, we'll address the question. If it's a more advanced question, we will table that until Thursday for the sake of time, because the Thursday Market Talks is designed for advanced conversations. So for those of you who are still learning this strategy, still navigating your way to compounding in your live accounts or even your demo accounts, then you want to ask your basic questions tonight. Now, don't leave with a question, ask your question. Is that a deal? 111 in the chat if you all understand the power of getting your questions answered. That is why we're here. Consider us your tutors for the night. So no question is a question that doesn't warrant being answered. We want you all to master the basics, because if you were playing basketball, guess what? You would want to master dribbling the ball, right? You would need to master controlling your footwork while dribbling the ball. You wouldn't go right into, an alley-oop behind the back, the slam dunk, right? You need to master the basics. Once you master the basics, then you can go ahead and fly, with advanced techniques and strategies. So here we are. This is the vibrata. Now, on the vibrata, you will see on the left triggers. Now, what does it mean? This is another value for having this tool. You won't find triggers anywhere else like the ones you have in the vibrata, that they are nudging you to say, you know what, here's an asset that you should be looking at because there's a potential trade that's lining up because of this trigger that you see. Can you please explain how to use the 30-minute chart to help with time frame confluence on GU? Absolutely. I will definitely, after I describe what everybody's seeing, then I'll help you to understand how you can use the 30-minute chart. Yes. All right. So here on the left, you are welcome. Here on the left, you'll find triggers. So if you as a beginner, what you want to do is master foreign exchange pairs. Why? Because they move in a way where it's simple for you to navigate. It's simple for you to, enter your trade in a timely manner. You don't have to have, a lot of money in your account, because with the indices and other assets, you may have to have a little bit more money in your account than you do with the foreign exchange pair. So you want to click on the button here for the Forex Alerts. So here we have the Forex Alerts. We have NZD-JPY. We have EUR-AUD. So I'm going to click on this alert here, and this is what we're going to look at and analyze tonight so that you can understand the power of this tool. Now, as you begin to master the foreign exchange pairs, I'm just seeing this for the first time. How do we access the vibrata? You have to enroll in the iMarkets Academy, and then you can access the vibrata. So get with the person who invited you on, and they will show you how to get enrolled tonight with the elite package. All right, you are welcome. So then these other buttons here, these are triggers for cryptocurrency. Then we have the index button here, as well as the metals. But again, for beginners, master your Forex trades, because then you will have the necessary foundation to graduate to these other assets. All right, so what do we see on the chart? Here we simply see NZD JPY, and this is a symbol for the New Zealand dollar and the Japanese yen. Okay, now keep in mind with this strategy, it can be used with any asset. So it doesn't matter if you want to then trade Amazon stock, Tesla stock. It doesn't matter if you want to trade gold, platinum, silver. You will be able to use this strategy with every asset out there. Okay, so just that's the power behind what it is we're doing. And so do you have to use it on the 15-minute time frame? That is the foundation for basics. You start with the 15-minute time frame until you master the basics, and then you can graduate and analyze. You're going to analyze on higher time frames when you take longer trades. So we're focusing on 10 pips and cashing out, and that is why we're focusing on starting with the 15-minute chart. All right, so here next to the symbol for the currency pair, NZD, JPY, New Zealand dollar versus the Japanese yen, then we have the chart numbers here. So 5 minutes stands for, or 5M stands for 5 minute, 15M stands for 15 minute, 1H stands for 1 hour. So these are the charts that we're going to look at. Now, when you open your chart, if you don't see 5, 15, and 1 hour in place, you simply click on this drop down arrow and you highlight the stars for the 5 minute chart, the 15-minute chart, and the 1 hour. And just keep it very simple. You don't want anything extra on your chart that you don't need. So if you have the 3-minute star highlighted, just click on that. Don't highlight like that. Just focus on what you need. When you have a recipe and it comes out to the best, German chocolate cake that you've ever imagined, don't go throwing in cherries. I don't want cherries in my German chocolate cake. Keep it simple, right? And then once you master the basics, perhaps you can go ahead and throw in something in the recipe. But for now, we are going to stick to the basics, and that's what we're going to discuss tonight. So here we are on the side of the chart. We have price. So here, I like to keep this up, this part of the chart up, because it shows me in bold numbers what the current price is. So when you go to enter your trade in your MetaTrader 4, you have an idea of where price is when you're about to enter the price. Now it's going to be changing. Why? Because when you're entering trades, you are entering when there's momentum in the market. So this price is going to be moving. Now on the chart here, you'll see on the right side, this is the price side, right? At the bottom, you will see the time and the date at the bottom. Now let's talk about our indicators. At the bottom of the chart, you have the stochastic, right? So you have the blue and the red line traveling throughout this purple shaded area. So what we're going to talk about now is the 80 and the 20 and the significance. Remember, we talked about identifying the overbought and the oversold positions of price. So the oscillator here, which is where the stochastic runs through, here we have the 20 marker at the bottom, we have the 80 at the top. Now, when price is traveling from the 20, which is the bottom of this purple shaded area, when it's around the 20, crossing over and heading up, that means that price is increasing, right? So we call that a buy that we're looking at, a trend of a buy. Once price reaches the 80 area and the blue line crosses over the red and starts to head down, then that is a sell. So when we talk about overbought, that means that price was increasing and then it crossed over the 80. This is an area where we call overbought. This is even more overbought right here. You see that, how it went past the 80 and then started heading down? So this point here, where the blue line crosses over the red and begins to point down, this is a great place that we would look for in order to enter a sale. So this is the starting point. This is the leading indicator. So this area here above the 80, where the blue line crosses over the red and heads down, this is called being overbought. And then when it starts to curve down, it's the beginning of a sale where price is beginning to decrease. So I want anybody who has a question about what overbought means right now, ask your question, because that is the starting point for a beginner to understand what to look for as you're looking for your setups for your trades. Anybody have a question about being overbought at this particular time? Fantastic. So now, what does overbought mean? Overbought means that price has traveled to a point where the blue and the red line have crossed over the 80 point, the 80 marker here. That means it's overbought. So when the asset is overbought, you know now you're looking for price to turn around and begin to sell or decrease. So this is just a good starting point to analyze your trade, because when it's overbought, then we know when it turns around and heads down, there's going to be momentum with that price dropping or with this sale. And so that'll be a strong entry point for a trade. Did that answer your question? Excellent. And it's just the opposite for being oversold. So here's a good place. You are welcome. Here's a good place where we can see we can buy either way. We can execute a trade either way. We're executing trades, right? We're not buying and selling. We're executing a trade, but we're analyzing whether price is buying, which means simply increasing, or price is selling, which simply means decreasing. So these are synonyms. It's not an action. We're not going to the market and purchasing something. We are just analyzing the market, and we use the terms buy and sell. Buy means price is increasing. Sell means price is decreasing. So write that down in your notes so that you can internalize that you got to think differently about what we're doing here. How do you know when to sell, since it can go way over 80? Well, when it goes way over 80, and again, you're not selling. You are looking for price to decrease. And that's called a sale. It's a synonym. So I'll give you an example. So sometimes, we might use slang. So I might say, oh, that's slick, right? It doesn't mean that it's slippery and I'm about to fall down. It means that I like it, right? So what you want to do is go into the academy, make sure that you look at series 100 and 200 so that you understand the difference between buying and selling. All right. That's the beauty of having the education, right? Because an educated trader is a profitable trader. All right. So here we go. We are going to identify when price is oversold. So when price continues to decrease, and you see the blue line and the red below or around the 20 and then crossing over and heading up, this area means it's oversold, right? When it's pointing down past the 20, but when it turns around and begins to head up, that means this is a start of a strong buy where price is increasing. Okay, so these are just an example of being overbought. And this is a good example of being oversold. All right. So that's the first step in our strategy. So what we're going to do, since a person had a question about GBP USD, for the sake of time, we're going to analyze GU so that I can explain the significance behind the 30-minute chart and how you can use that in order to execute a trade. Now, this is only for GBP pairs. When you're looking at any other pairs, you're simply analyzing off the 5-minute, the 15, and the 1-hour chart. Now, remember the foundation to our strategy, the BYOB cash out strategy, which is housed in the vibrata. You can't find it anywhere else. And so here we are on the 15-minute chart. We are going to look for a good setup. I'm going to find something that was either overbought or oversold so we can show you the power behind this strategy. So here we go. Here we are. This is a good example of where price was way overbought. So the blue and the red line went way above the 80 marker. It stayed above, but guess what? It started to drop, right? So when it starts to drop below the 80, that's when you begin to look for your good setup. So here we have the blue line. It's crossing over the red, heading down. So this is what we look at first. So jot down in your notes when price is overbought and the blue and the red line start heading downward, then that's when you start to look for your setup. Step one. Step two, when we're looking for price to drop or sell, then you're looking for a red candle with a flat top. So I'm going to make this as obvious as I can, make it as big as I can so that we can all see what's going on right here for this setup. So here we are. Okay, so we have price dropping, right? So we're watching for a red candle with a flat top. We see one here. Then we have a PSAR above this red candle, okay? So these are the three things we look for. We look for the blue and the red line to begin to drop below the 80, right? It's gonna continue to fall. That means it's a sell. You're looking for a red candle with a flat top and a PSAR above the red candle. So this is the first candle that we see with the PSAR above it. I'm going to drop an arrow above the candle and above the PSAR. So this is our first step. The next thing we do is we look for time frame confluence. So what does that mean? It means that we look at the 5-minute chart and the 1-hour chart to determine if they are showing the same movement. If price is heading down with the stochastic, if we have a red candle, and on the 5-minute, if we have a PSAR, we typically will on the 5-minute chart because the 5-minute chart feeds into the 15-minute chart. So what happens here will follow on the 15-minute chart, and the same for the 1 hour. The 15-minute feeds into the 1 hour. All right, so let's talk about this. So let's go to the 5-minute chart and look for our blue arrow so that we can see the same moment in time and what was happening with price on the 5-minute chart versus the 15-minute chart. All right, so we found our arrow. So now let's put our cursor right in the middle of the blue arrow. We're going to take our eyes down to the stochastic. What is it doing? It is dropping. So the red and the blue line are head pointing downward. So that's a go. Check. Yes. Confluence is saying the same thing. We got a red candle and the PSAR above it. Boom. So the 5-minute chart and the 15-minute chart are in agreement. Now we're going to go to the 1-hour chart and see if the 1-hour chart is telling us the same thing as well. So let's see, where are our candles? Here they are. Where's our blue arrow? Now we use this blue arrow when we're analyzing something that's already happened in the past. And I'll explain what that means in a moment. So here we are on the 1-hour chart. Look at the stochastic. Guess what? It's still pointing upward. So we don't need to even go any further. We are going to stop right there because we do not have confluence. The PSAR is the dot that travels above the candles and above the red candles typically, and typically below the green candles. It just shows you where the momentum is flowing. So if you see PSARs below the green candles with the flat bottoms, that means it's pushing the momentum up in price. And if you see the PSAR or the dot above a red candle with the flat top, that means there's momentum of price being pushed down by the PSAR. Now let's talk about the 30-minute chart with GBP pairs. So I'm going to bring the 30-minute chart up. Now, when would you use the 30-minute chart? Now, in this particular example, you wouldn't necessarily flip back to the 30-minute chart because the 1 hour was telling you, no, it's not a go. This is not a trade you want to take. However, if you would have seen the stochastic on the 1 hour chart pointing downward, right? And you had so here's an example. If you would have seen the stochastic pointing downward and you may have had a doji candle, which means it's more wick than candle. Or you see a doji candle going back and forth from green to red. So you don't have strong confluence, but you go to the 30-minute chart and you do have strong confluence, then that would give you an indication that you could probably go ahead, take that trade on the 15-minute chart entry and, execute your 10 pips. So that is the power behind the 30-minute chart with GBP pairs only. So if you see the 1 hour is almost ready, the stochastic is saying yes, but the candle may be going back and forth. There's a little doubt in your mind about the strength of the 1 hour, but on the 30-minute is strong confluence, then that is when we tell you to go ahead and execute the trade. Now practice that in your demo account until you master it, because we know that with perfect practice, it makes a perfect trader. So I hope that answered the question for the person who asked about the GBP pairs. Drop it in the chat if that answered your question. All right, so let me talk about one more thing. I don't know if the person's still on, but I hope that answered the GBP question. Now, when I looked at the chart for the first time, I didn't know what I was looking at. So I'm going to tell you all, when you're first opening up a chart, this candle here on the far right, no matter what chart you're on, of course, our foundational chart is the 15-minute chart. Make these candles bigger. The candle that's closest to price on the right, this candle here, that's the live candle. This is price moving right now, live and in person. So I'm going to click here inside of price. And I'm going to pull up our timer. So here you'll see a timer. It says 1 minute, 35 seconds. That means that in 1 minute and 30 seconds, you'll see another candle appear here closest to price. So these candles to the left, all of these candles represent historical data. So this is where price has traveled from, and this is where price is currently. So I want to make sure that that's clear so that you know what to look at when you're taking a trade. So we analyze from the far right of all the candles, right? The last candle here closest to price. So if I was looking to buy right now, then I would have been looking for the blue line to cross over the red line heading upward. And I want the stochastic to still be pointing upward. I would be looking for a green candle with a flat bottom right here and the peace sign underneath it. So look, we have the stochastic pointing to the right. So that's telling me I don't even need to look at the candle or the peace sign because my stochastic is telling me, no, this is not a time for a buy. So you just go and click on another trigger over here on the left, and you just abide by the rules. Keep it very simple. Let's kiss, right? Any questions, any comments, any testimonies before I move on to the compounding chart? Questions, comments, testimonies. All right, so everybody understands? Yes. Question? Ask your question before we move on. Clear and very helpful. Great, awesome, awesome. Did the person who typed yes have a question? What's the difference in the colors? Go enroll in the academy because it'll be explained thoroughly. But green means price is increasing, red decreasing. Get enrolled so you can understand the basics. An educated trader is a profitable trader. So I am going to shift gears right now, and we are going to talk about something that will definitely keep you up at night. It is going to create insomnia in your life because it is something that has been hidden in plain sight that now we have an opportunity to take full advantage of on this platform, being your own bank, understanding the power of compounding. So what we like to do is do the things that big banks do. We don't want to be the customers and follow the rules that banks have outlined for customers. We are the bank. So we are exercising the eighth wonder of the world, which is compounding. I love this quote. I love it. Compounding interest, the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who does not understand it pays it. This is a quote that was made famous by Albert Einstein. So I want you all to really think about that. The banking system, they understand the power of compounding in. That's why they have loans with interest rates. That's why they have mortgages with interest rates, credit cards with interest rates. We are paying them, which means they're compounding in when we're paying interest on those things. So we are showing you all how to compound in by learning this simple strategy. And it all starts before you take a trade. You want to pull up your compounding chart. This is an Excel spreadsheet that can be found on the website, beyourownbankmovement.com. You click on more and then files, you'll find this compounding sheet. And so this is going to allow for you to understand what your lot size will be when you enter your trade. So here you see the lot sizes, but I want you to understand what each column represents. Column A is simply your number of trades that you've taken. Column B is your beginning balance. What I love about this is it's a level playing ground, a level playground, because anyone with $100 to 100 million can use this strategy. It doesn't matter if you're a billionaire already or if you work at Starbucks. Everybody has some money. Everybody wants more. So compounding is just common sense. Everybody should want to compound their money, period. So you start with your beginning balance, whatever that may be. This is column B. So after you take a successful trade, you're going to increase your balance. So you decide what percentage of profit that you're going to take per trade. So we are going to operate, and we are going to operate by being conservative. In the academy, it suggests that we trade very conservatively. So on this beginner's chart, we're showing $100 starting balance, 3% profit per trade. So this is going to remain the same. Your balance will increase because every trade will end in profit. And so once you take a profit of a trade that you entered for 10 pips, that's what take profit means here in column E. We're going to take 10 pips. We're going to wait for price to move either 10 pips up or 10 pips down. Remember, buying and selling simply means price is increasing or decreasing. So as a beginner, we're focusing on 10 pips and cashing out. So you'll learn how to count your pips in the academy. So make sure you enroll in the academy tonight. Make sure you finish your series 100 and 200. It's 10 hours of study that you can complete in a weekend if you're really serious about compounding. And then you'll be ready to understand what we're discussing tonight in full detail. And so your take profit is based upon your lot size, and your lot size will be explained in the academy as well. So if you're starting with $100 balance and you want to take 3% profit per trade, then your lot size is going to be 0.03. So that is what you're going to enter in your MetaTrader 4 as your lot size before you enter the trade. Now, we're going to talk about how we can compound $500 to 6 figures in 6 months. Who wants to learn how to compound $500 into 6 figures in 6 months? Who wants to master this so to the point where all your trades end in profit? You take one trade a day and turn $500 into 6 figures in 6 months. I want you to drop a 111 in the chat if you are excited about the idea, the concept, the philosophy of being your own bank. See, this is where the crusade begins, and this is just the foundation of the crusade. Be your own bank movement. This is just the beginning of what you'll have an opportunity to participate within. Get ready for announcements that will knock you off your feet. So here's an example of where you take a $500 balance, and then you deposit $500 into your broker account. You take one trade a day, 5 days a week, and each trade, you take 5% profit. At the end of 20 trades, you would end up with $1,326. Now, listen. How many of you all would love to see at the end of the month, because you know you have at least $500 in your bank account? How many of you all would love to see at the beginning of next month that $500 just turned into $1,326? Could you use that for a little something, right? So this is the power of learning this skill. 6 months to 6 figures. What is it going to take? So we can teach you the strategy because it's very simple, right? The 3-step strategy we just taught you is very, very simple. What you have to do is believe it. You have to make sure that your energy is high. You have to practice perfectly, discipline yourself, and patiently wait for the perfect entries. So here we are, month 1. You have $500 as your beginning balance, and you're going to end with $1,326. But guess what? We're not going to withdraw any money from our account for 6 months because we want to have that story, that testimony. Look, I put $500 in my account. 6 months later, I compounded it to $100,000. So month 2, you're going to start your compounding. You're going to start your broker account with $1,300. Month 3, you're going to start with $3,500. Who's getting more and more excited? Month 4, $9,300. Month 5, $24,000. Month 6, you'll start with $65,000 and compound that to $174,455. withdraw $100,000, and now you have your testimony. But guess what? You're going to keep that 74K in the broker account and compound that to 8 figures in 12 months. Now, let me ask you all a question. How often do you all get a raise at work? How often? Right? Do you have to go to through a review? And never. Some people don't get raises at work. What if you could compound your way to wealth 5% a day, 1 trade a day, simply by practicing this? This strategy works, 92% accuracy rate. But if you get your PIP reaction time right, if you get your affirmations in place, if you get your belief system where it needs to be, if you are patient and you use the strategy, you don't add anything, you don't take anything away, you're disciplined, you will get that 1 trade a day and compound your way to wealth. Let me get a 777 in the chat if this is exciting to anybody out there. The possibilities are endless. Ladies and gentlemen, you can give yourself a raise several times a day. You don't have to wait for somebody to give you permission to get more money deposited into your account. Take control of your own freedom. Take control of your own finances. This can be done with high frequency trading as well, with binary options. This is how the compounding sheet works there. You can start with a $500 balance. And with this, because you can take trades in a 3-minute time frame, you can take multiple trades a day. It's nothing to take 10 trades a day when you're doing binary options. When the market is moving, boom, you can knock out 10 trades a day. So we're talking about positioning yourself to make big bank moves. So with the same profit of 5% per trade, you do it a little bit differently when you're entering into pocket options. You type in the percentage based upon your balance. So if your profit is going to be 5%, then you're going to type in $25 as your trade size. And then if you're selecting an asset that will yield 80% profit of your balance, then you'll get $20 deposited into your account, and then you'll start your next trade on $520 as your balance. And you just continue to refer to your compounding sheet so that you know what to type in as your trade size in the options platform. And then you can compound your way to wealth in the same way with options. So in the beginning, this is how your MetaTrader 4 will look. You will have, your blue $4.80, because your balance may be a little bit lower than the $500 starting balance, but that's okay. You are going to graduate to days where you're bringing in thousands of dollars because you've executed a few trades a day. You have mastered the skill. You are confident to take way more than 1 trade a day. And that is when you have full control of your time, full control of your destiny. So when you see a 777 in the chat, that is in our Telegram chat. That is an example of people taking profit from the market all day, every day. So what I want you all to do right now is to grab your phones. I want you to grab your phones right now. Why? Because if you stay plugged in, you'll stay turned on. What do I mean? Well, you want to be abreast of what's happening within BYOB. You want to know when we're having Zoom events. You want to know what's happening, how the movement is moving, who's being a part of the movement. You want to know who's cashing out, what assets are hot, right? So if you stay plugged in, you'll stay turned on. So we have all sorts of resources. I need to change this color. BeYourOwnBankMovement.com. You want to make sure you save that into your favorites, right? BeYourOwnBankMovement.com. Go there, watch the testimonials, watch the videos, the educational videos. Go there and shop. Where's your paraphernalia? Take pictures of yourself sporting BYOB paraphernalia. Shop for your clothes. There are sharp items there. Get your notebooks. Get your coffee cups. YouTube, Be Your Own Bank Movement. Here is the link to our YouTube channel, youtube.com /C/BYOB challenge. And then I want you to text BYOB cash out to 904-567-0634. You can take a screenshot of this so that you have all of these resources in your phone as a picture. And then your Telegram chat is t.me/BYOB cash out. We're also on Clubhouse, right? Get the Clubhouse app. Enroll tonight in the academy. You are worth it. Your family's worth it. This is like knowing the cure to cancer and you decide not to tell anybody, right? You wouldn't do that. So what we want to do is not think about what it is we don't know, and whatever thoughts you have that would keep you from compounding your own money, suspend those thoughts, operate in faith and not fear. And then these Zoom events, there are 40 live Zoom events per month. We got you. If you're serious, you will learn this skill because we're not leaving anybody behind. And BYOB movement has a rewards program. So membership has its benefits. So when you simply enroll in the academy, you receive a $200 restaurant certificate. I mean, you're getting paid to free yourself. Come on. What do you have to lose, right? And everything to gain. When you're already a part of the BYOB movement, then you're getting rewarded as your skill set increases. So as you're taking 60 trades with cryptocurrency, as you're getting 600 pips ending in profit, 600 points ending in profit, you in a 30-day time frame, in a month time, you get airfare and 2-night hotel stay for 2. This is ongoing, ladies and gentlemen. So let us reward you by being an educated and profitable trader. 100 trades, 1,000 pips, or 1,000 points, and you get a 4-night resort getaway to Mexico. So you report these stats by showing in your live account that this is how you took profit, then you'll get these rewards on a monthly basis. I think that's very powerful. Trips and pips. So you must be directly enrolled in the BYOB movement. You must redeem these vouchers in 30 days and pay a nominal redemption fee. But guess what? You have 2 years to use them. So you must email proof of enrollment, trades, points, and pip count to BeYourOwnBankMovement@gmail.com. So what will it take? It will take movements. What will your legacy be? 7 figures and beyond. You living your utopia where money's not an issue and you have time and freedom together, time and financial freedom together. Now, with that being said, it is my privilege to turn this platform over to a gentleman who's going to walk us through